Welcome back to Digimon Story Lost Evolution. Previously, I faced Takto, the champion of North City. After I win, he reveals that Yui has been out cold since arriving at the digital world, so I had to get the Ginseng from an ancient Wisemon. With Yui healed, the friend group that was dragged into this world is finally reunited, and with all champions defeated, I have gained access to the graphics board Central, where the world tournament to determine the Platinum Tamer will take place. So let's get to it! I advanced to the Central, which features new wild Digimon that include Metal Mamemon, who's got no evolutions, so he isn't much more than a connector. Cyberdramon has an evolution at least. Megidramon is capable of learning Giga Gain attack, and can evolve even further, though he will have difficulty doing so. Darkdramon has an unremarkable unique learnable, at least Chaos Eye can hit free spaces for sleep. Garibimon Evil has Gravity Ball for wide speed reduction, while Piedmon's Trumped Sword is a very wide confusion move. The first area of the Central actually features both a Toyagmon and Pandamon shops. I then go southwest, the second time I do so it takes me northwest, then I go northeast, which is where I find the warp to the Colosseum. The Colosseum also features a Pandamon shop. Minomon here handles the entry to the tournament, so I registered for the Bronze Tamer match. My opponent is Old Man Creole, back from East City. This time his team consists of Dorugoramon, Barbamon and Ancient Troimon. He's not that much of a threat, so I clear him easily, getting my Bronze Tamer rank. Darkdramon handles the rewards for rank promotions. Being Bronze grants me a set of Arcane armor. Well, Bronze was a breeze, so what about Silver? The opponent I have to face here is Facile. She's got an Ancient Kazemon, Ancient Beetlemon and Ancient Mermaidmon. They have pretty good speed, so I have to make use of speed control moves, and even then I feel quite a bit overwhelmed at points. After winning this back and forth, I get the Silver Tamer rank. Darkdramon's reward this time is a Saint's Robe. Time for the next challenge, the fight for Gold Tamer. I am to face two opponents this time. First is Arvel, who has a team of Bellsmon Blast Mode, Zed Millenniumon and Shine Greymon Ruin Mode. My use of Holy and Water damage makes short work of this team, so I advance ahead to the next fight against the Tamer Jegal, who sends a Susanoo Mo, Omnimon and Imperial Dramon Fighter Mode. I start on my back foot a bit this match, and my lack of dark damage drags it out a bit. This one was hard fought, but I got Gold Tamer anyway. The reward for it is an Andro suit. After that difficult fight, I decided to advance further and registered for the Platinum Tamer fight. My first opponent is Kizuna. She sends out a Varadurmon, Ancient Megatheriummon, and a Rosemon Burst Mode. While Kage and Wolf are taken down easily, Rex actually solos most of the fight. Next up are the Bandits, who transform into their monster form. That's right, they were the EX Erasers all along, and combined together to form the EX Eraser Omega. Having to face a single opponent is a bit of a blessing, as they will only take one turn per cycle. They are a bit of a damage sponge, so this fight takes a while. Once I win, I get Platinum Tamer status, Omega leaves. They plan to use me as bait to draw out the leader of the selectors. As Colonel celebrates the end of the tournament, the Erasers show up, apprehend him, and face me in their monster form. Once this group is dealt with, the Erasers retreat, though most of the Tamers and Digimons that were here were kidnapped. Back at the Digibase, we investigate where the Erasers are going, which is the Archive Island to the south of the main continent. Oh yeah, the reward for getting the new rank is a Holy Ring. Guess I could complete the farm quests I haven't finished yet. First is sending a reply, Mermaidmon's Feelings, which requires a selfish Mermaidmon. She received a love letter from Mummymon, but she doesn't like that he's so dry, so I must inform him at Graphics Board Central. Mummymon is found in the third area. I tell him of the rejection, but he wants to know the reason, resulting in a fight. After I win, he gives me a petition to deliver to Mermaidmon, so I suppose she could give him a second chance. The reward includes 2 Panaceas and a full Restore Alpha. Next is the shotgun that Bellsmon longs for, which requires a cool Metal Mamemon. He looks up to Bellsmon in Angler Tunnel and wants to borrow his weapon. After landing there, I advance 4 areas, meeting with Bellsmon. I must fetch his shotgun, so I go 3 areas back, opening a boss chest, which starts a fight against a Puppetmon, Piedmon, Machine Dramon, and Metal Seedramon. It's so hard I had to go back to the base to use load enhancement to boost my Digimon stats. Taking them down one by one is a struggle, but hey, each downed Digimon greatly stabilizes the situation. Once I'm done with them, I get the spare gun, then face Bellsmon in a test of strength. Once again, facing a single opponent makes things easier, but it's still a bit of a slog. After I win, Bellsmon lends me the gun to deliver to Metal Mamemon. The reward includes 3 Medicines Alpha and a Bellsmon Blast Mode Plate Alpha. Bellsmon also shows up as a random encounter in Angler Tunnel from now on. His Behemoth is an ultra-wide move, These Wild Bellsmon also have massive HP reserves, by the way. I then go for some boss chests. First is Palace Laboratories. The Mega Gargomon there guards a weapons factory. Next is Task Canyons. The Ancient Garurumon and Ancient Greymon guard some one-shot claws. Last is Thriller Ruinses. The Moon Millenniumon and Wisemon there guard an armor factory. Time to land in Archive Island's Risk Factory, which features new wild Digimon that include Tokomon, who has 3 options of rookies. Why am I even entertaining this in-training Digimon discussion? Karatemon won't reach Mega on fresh Digiconversion, Puppetmon's Puppet Pummel isn't that special, Parasimon doesn't really have wide moves, Machinedrumon's Giga Cannon at least hits wide, no side effects though, Jumbo Gamemon's Jumbo Crater is ultra wide, Millenniumon has 2 choices of wide moves in Time Unlimited and Dimension Destroyer, Shine Greymon's Glorious Burst is a simple wide move, same with Mirage Gogamon's Full Moon Blaster. His Double Crescent is also an odd split move that only misses the center space. As I enter the factory, I'm intercepted by 3 Shift Erasers. After sweeping them aside, I go to the east, open a chest that has 5 Medicines Omega, go east again to open a chest that contains the Risk card, go back 2 areas, then southwest, break a boulder that blocks a boss chest. I go back once again to take the other southwest path, go northwest, take the lower southwest path to open the gate that is in the upper southwest path. I open a chest there to ask 3 revives, discover a pit, cross the gate, then take the warp. I take the first path here to open a chest that has 3 MP boosts Omega, then go for the second path to open a chest that contains 10,000 bits. There's also another group of 3 Shift Erasers. After dealing with them, I advance through the warp. I see Jaggle and his Omnimon enter the tunnel. Out the other side comes an Eraser. Gurnal shows up, the true leader of the Selectors. He hijacked the World Tree to create the Erasers, human Digimon fusions. The bandits show up to help. Uno is incredulous that the one closest to the World Tree could be the one responsible for this crisis, but all Gurnal cares is creating a new, perfect life form. Turns out the Tamers of the Old Union were responsible for the Defrag plan, which resulted in the Numbers' creation. Eraser prototypes, essentially. Gurnal wipes out the bandits, then fuses with the energy of the tree, turning into Giga the Vast, boasting that he has become the digital world itself. This jumbled mess of a being is actually pretty easily dealt with, all things considered, but that doesn't stop him as he turns into Terra the Vast. The bandits, however, aren't so quiet after all, as they mess around with Gurnal from inside his body, weakening him. He's become a massive damage sponge, so the fight is very slow. One of his moves actually causes knockback, which drags out Rocky. It's at this point that I realize he's got Mega Gain attack, so my damage output greatly increases. I dig for the second half of his HP bar faster than the first half. After all is said and done, the bandits managed to terminate Gurnal, though he started a self-destruct sequence before that. I have to escape. The bandits will be right behind me. Swear, they just have to deal with this self-destruct deal. Oh, and they're gone. The friend group is ready to leave the digital world, though Hiroyuki seems to have something prepared as a farewell gift. Too bad the Digimon have been stunned and can't quite say goodbye. As we leave, fireworks are launched, so the Digimon can at least see that. We all return safely to the real world. But it's okay, I can always return when I want. When I do so, I receive my congratulations for saving the world, receiving one of the strongest weapons as a reward, the Peacemaker. Thus ends Digimon Story Lost Evolution's main story. This game is quite an interesting one when comparing it with its predecessor, as it introduced many mechanics that would be seen as foundational blocks of modern Digimon story, but also features a bit of loss along the way. DNA Digivolution has been removed. Its replacement is a unified evolution tree that could be seen as a prototype of sorts for Cyber Sleuth's Digivolution web. Aptitude DNA Digivolution has also been replaced with Load Enhancement, which is much stronger this time around. Repairing the evolution tree was a pretty cool element, and the plate repair minigame is a decent way of creating a break in the action. Elemental weaknesses and resistances are no longer based on a resistance stat, and are much more pronounced. The spirit stat was removed, with ability being introduced as a stat that increases on evolution and digivolution that grants a bit of a power boost. The evolution requirements were streamlined due to the removal of species experience. Plants and insects were split into 2 separate species, although the species reshuffling that happened resulted in there being way too many dragons when compared to the other species. Signature moves are gone. Most of them have become learnables. Many traits were also removed, so unfortunately there's less variety in this part. But the biggest loss of all was the Digimon roster, which has shrunk. There are 314 Digimon compared to Dawn and Dusk's 397. It's still way more than World ES's 239, I guess. Most of the newcomers are great additions, however. This entry has 5 of the 7 demon lords, all ancient warriors, all royal knights that existed at the time, and all 4 sovereigns. For the most part, the challenge of the game was non-existent, as it's super easy to make strong Digimon, and if they can't grow any further through level up, blood enhancement is an easy boost. The challenge at least picked up a bit during the late game. The world itself is not that unique due to reused assets from the previous game, though they're surprisingly interconnected in a way the series hasn't done before. Though the change in level philosophy is very apparent, since reused maps are very different from the newly crafted ones. As for the story, it's a bit odd. While there were a few aspects that I liked, most of it was a bit of a mess. It doesn't help that the protagonist isn't really treated as a serious part of the plot, as most of the characters do their best to be vague about things. Mostly the bandit's fault, really. Also, did I really have to make EX Eraser Gamma look so much like Dress? It really spoils the surprise later on. Also, keen eyes will notice that Colonel's clothing shares the same color palette as the Erasers, though the game does treat him as a suspicious entity from the get-go, so I guess he really wasn't supposed to be a surprise villain. At least I think he did a good enough job as a villain. I could say that this is a game of very high highs and very low lows. While I enjoyed it myself, there's this feeling that things weren't meant to turn out exactly like this. One can consider it an uncut gem. There was much work to be done with this formula, before it could evolve further into something like Cyber Sleuth or Time Stranger. Thank you for watching. There's still post-game content to be explored, so I'll be seeing you next time as I do more quests and discover some new areas.